can feel my mind. I think I'm in the outer limits here. But no, honestly, what I just wanted to say to you was that my uncle was he was a contender for the middleweight championship here in the state of Delaware, and he went to Atlanta to fight in the '64 Olympics. He didn't make it, but a guy by the name of Bad News Brown, and you guys might have known him as a wrestler, but what he was a black belt karate. His name was Alan Coage, and he wound up going to the '64 Olympics where he won a bronze medal. But what I wanted to ask you was, being in that situation, knowing that what it takes to have someone get to that position to where they can win, like you said, it was 3 titles that he's won?
World titles.
World titles that
About
he's
6
won.
other ones.
You know, in that, just kind of tell the viewing audience what it takes to be able to get there.
Well, the first thing that Reggie had, and it's evident to me, just dealing with Reggie, is a high degree of energy. Reggie had a focus, and his focus was boxing. If he didn't have a focus, he may not have been as successful in life. But he had one focus, and that was boxing. He worked on his physique, he worked on his mind, he worked on his spirituality. And he put all that together to continue in a sport that he could go as far as he wanted, based on individual effort. Reggie had many people that grew up in the neighborhood with him that were not as focused, that didn't have these things to look forward to, and they went a different road. So energy, focus, respect, and just general doing it. Reggie's a man that stands up and does it. When we work out in the morning, he's ahead of me in the gym, no matter what time I go. And but I enjoy that. First time I ever had a chance to work out with a world champion, and I made it. I couldn't walk for 4 days afterwards, but I certainly enjoyed myself.
Mr. Sam Guy, because you still want to continue, we're going to still let you go around with the group, but Mr. Sam Guy.
Yeah, I have a question. When I watch the boxing matches and the bell rings and the fighters out there, it's the middle of the 5th round, and you have all of these guys in the corner, the manager and all of the other people in the corner, and they're telling the guy, do this, do that, do this. Do they actually hear and pay any attention to what's being yelled from the corner while they're out there in the middle of the ring, or is it just folks yelling for nothing?
Well, Sam, that's a very good question. If the fighter is close enough to his corner, he can hear it. If he has one eye on his corner and one eye on his opponent, which he should not do, then he could see what they're trying to relay to him. But the key to anybody in the corner of any boxer is to have one person spreading the message. Have 2 or 3 people in the same corner that are trying to tell the boxer to do something, it confuses the boxer and confuses the whole issue.
Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Guy? You don't have anything? Oh, because I'm just, I love these questions, so whatever you want to fire at him, just feel free, because you're ready, aren't you?
I'm ready.
Yes. Josie.
Well, first of all, I'm a little late getting here, so into this conversation, I don't know what too much you've been talking about, other than now I understand we're talking about someone that is a boxer. I just want to know, I understand that this person will be here, you said on Tuesday and Wednesday?
Wednesday and Thursday.
Wednesday and Thursday?
Mm-hmm.
Is there some presentation that this person is going to be at to inform our community, or so our youngsters in the community can see how this person became a boxer, and just some presentation of what's going on with this person?
Yeah, Josie, let me interject for a second. We are talking to Mr. Bill Shields, who's the manager and advisor for 3-time world champion Reggie Johnson, who held the title belts in middleweight and the light heavyweight divisions. And he will be coming to Delaware on Wednesday and Thursday, and I'm sure Mr. Shields will announce the locations he'll be at on both of those days, to include, as he said earlier, the Powell Center and the Sunday breakfast missions, celebrations on Market Street as well. And you can find those locations on my website, actually, clinwoodjackson.com, or Mr. Bill Shields' website as well. He'll give that out later. But my question would be, you talked about focus, and I know you're coming to Delaware focused on getting a title fight. Is that correct? Or can you tell us a little bit about that, though?
Yeah. Reggie hasn't fought in 5 years, a variety of different reasons, and he's ready to fight again. So he wants to fight for the 4th title, and in between now and the 4th title, we'll probably have to have 1 or 2 fights. Reggie's come here back in the day when Reggie was fighting as a middleweight. One of our local boxing champions, Dave Tiberi, also was a middleweight. And the 2 men were scheduled to fight after they both beat James Toney. Well, James Toney was given the win over Dave Tiberi, and Toney also won by decision against Reggie Johnson. So the 2 of them actually never met until Reggie came to town last year, and the 3 got together for a 3-hour brunch at Cosmo's Diner on Maryland Avenue. As a result of that, and Reggie seeing the kind of energy that Dave Tiberi has been putting together with his group in Delaware, and Reggie wanting to focus on the East Coast for his fighting venue, he would like to come here and have one of his fights in the state of Delaware, as well as other states very local to Delaware.
That's great, Bill. I tell you, interesting. You mentioned that James Toney fighting Reggie Johnson and Dave Tiberi, whom I thought personally, I watched both of those fights, and I thought that Reggie and Mr. Tiberi won that fight. Reggie knocking Mr. Toney down for the first time in his career. He was a 2-to-1 underdog in that fight, and Reggie threw a left hook and knocked Toney down for the first time in his career. However, he did lose that fight, and we all know, again, the true champions get up. We all fall down as human beings, but a true champ gets up and continues to fight, which Reggie did. He went on and he fought Delaware's own William Godfrey for the light heavyweight title of the world, and he won, knocking our hometown hero down, knocking him out with a right hook in the 5th round. So that set the stage for where we are today, basically. And I'm sure Bill will share with us who is your target. Who holds the light heavyweight belt right now as we speak?
Well, the local champion, undeniable, and the world champion is Bernard Hopkins. This is a man who has a tremendous career, someone who has fought for years and years and years, and even at his age, at 48 years old, he won the world title again. About 2.5 months ago up in Brooklyn. He fought previously undefeated Tavers Cloud and won decisively. 2 years previous to that, Bernard Hopkins also won another world title when he fought Jean Pascal. Unfortunately, he had to beat Jean Pascal twice before they gave him the title. So he and Reggie are the same weight class. They're both light heavyweight, 175 pounds. They're both the same age group. Bernard Hopkins is 48, Reggie will be 47 in August. And I think it would be a tremendous opportunity for Reggie and for this region to have those 2 guys meet in the ring.
We're going to take a short break, but I want to thank personally Herman Holloway Jr. for allowing us to come in last Sunday when everything was fresh from the beginning of the event we did last week. Herman, thank you so much. We're just honored. Herman's our buddy and kind of like my brother now. He's part of the train. But I want to take just a few moments, and this is very, very, very important. Sir, we come from this group that keeps us on this air, and I want you to, we talked about LAPA. Access TV, they're the ones Mr. Guy has been about. I want them to talk on their own. Mr. Witcher, Josie Roy, Sam Guy, Lin Church. I want them to, they're the ones who keep us live and fight for us and toil and strive for us to stay on this air. And because of their fight against, you know, for whatever they go through, it gives us this greatest outreach. So there are outreaches all over, but this is the greater outreach that allows us to bring forth people like all of us. And, you know, so I want them to just have a few moments, just a few moments to talk about LAPA. And then we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back with Sam Guy commercials and last moment thoughts for all of you. We're going to start with Mr. Witcher.
Well, you know, LAPA goes way back. In the beginning, about 35 years ago, I was the first president of LAPA. It was so important to keep least access programming on the air. This was our outreach to the community, to the grassroots community, and down through the years we have fought to keep LAPA going so that the city council knows how important it is to the community. I mean, most of our, especially black elected officials here in the city and the county, you know, they've been right here on Channel 28. They got the support of the community through LAPA. If you want to know what's going on in the grassroots community, people turn on Channel 28, and it's very, very important that the community continue to support us. I remember when I was supposed to talk to the city council, one of the councilmen told me before a council session came in, he said, you better hope the community come out, because if they don't come out, we're not going to support LAPA, because, you know, it's the company that's going to donate, you know, to our campaign. And you, the citizens, came out, you supported in a great way. You know, we got the contract extended where least access was a part of the contract that they signed. So, you know, least access, LAPA, is extremely important to the community. That if it wasn't for least access, we wouldn't be coming into your living rooms right now. So it's extremely important, Martha.
All right, we're going to skip you for a minute. Mr. Church, Mr. Guy, and Josie Roy, and then we're going to...
I'll make it real brief. What I like to think of, as Mr. Witcher said, when you deal with LAPA and we who have been in the trenches, he being before me and Josie being along with myself, and of course Ruth, we can't say enough about what Miss Ruth Baker has done for us.
Right.
And also with the Congos. I mean, and there are a host of others whose names will... Trust me, we may not say it here, but we support you because you supported us.
Right.
And what makes a difference is, and I just jotted this down when I was getting up today, and I said, you know, positive people seek out positive people to interject positive thoughts for positive outcomes. And I say that to say this, is that without all of our positive ideals as what we've thought about as LAPA, as it encompasses live lease access, what's vital for the viewing audience to understand is this is coming to you live. You can pick up a phone, you can call us, and you can talk to us at this point. If there are jobs that are being available or made available within the state, county, and the city, this is why live lease access is important, because it's on time, prompt information. And you can't get this anywhere else but here. And by saying that, I'm going to end it and turn it over to the boss.
I thought Mr. Sam Guy was next.
Then the boss.
Oh, that's you,
He says that all the time, community. Pay no mind. He's my dear friend. I only allow him to do that. But anyway, again, thank you, Marva, for giving us the opportunity to talk about LAPA. You know, every issue has its era. And I just want to say that Mr. Witcher talked about the era when he was greatly involved and still is involved with LAPA, but what went on back then. And I know Mr. Guy, when he comes to speak, he'll do the same thing. But there was an era 4 years ago when we were almost ready to be closed down. And if it weren't for the community and others getting together, we would not be sitting here today. It's been a challenge for the last 4 to 5 years to make sure that Channel 28 stays alive and we can sit here and promote this young man talking about a boxer and other issues that we face in our community, that we can still sit here and enjoy lease access on Channel 28 Live. I have to say to all the community, everyone sitting here, if it weren't for the community coming out at a time when we were about ready to be closed down and our voices was heard, that we will not be shut down. You will not shut us down because we've been here too long. And we put up a good fight, and we're still fighting. The fight's not over yet. And as a community and as citizens in this community that want to continue to make sure that lease access stays alive, we're going to continue to fight. But I thank the community, thank everybody that has been involved to make sure that this continues. I know Mr. Guy, he has a story, because there was an era when Mr. Guy even was with us 4 years ago, came to help us fight in that era and before that. So there's a story about Lapa. We all have a story, but nobody can tell our story like we can tell our story. So we want to make sure you continue that support that you have given us, because we're going to need it down the road to make sure that we can continue to sit here. Politicians, I say it all the time, politicians and everyone has sat on this airway and have been elected, have promoted themselves, organizations have sat here, promoted themselves. So what I suggest of the community and all those organizations who have enjoyed, come and be with us. We need your support. Don't wait till we get ready to close down again and then run to Lapa. We need you now. We continue to have open meetings. We ask you to come. We're going to be talking about our Lapa dance with every organization. You have to have money, and we have a couple fundraisers every year. We're getting ready for our big fundraiser. Lin is going to talk about that. But at this point, I just say thank you, community, for what you have done. We thank you for what you're doing now, and we look forward to this community working with us in the future. Now I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Sam Guy.
Before you, I want Mr. Guy to have a good chance to really talk. But sir, the reason why I wanted you to hear this, as Mr. Guy continues on, you got us. So when you bring Mr. Jackson in, see what you got? But I want you to know who's behind the scenes of us, Mr. Sam Guy.
All right. I guess what I want to do is, I'm not going to take Josie up on her offer to mention my role in this. I have a TV show called Rooftops, and one day I may do that on my time. What I am going to do, though, is I do want to piggyback on something that both of you said. See, Mr. Witcher mentioned that he was the president of Lapa a long time ago. And now you have the current administration of Lapa. And what's important is that in our community, we have valuable institutions, valuable organizations. And those organizations, they prepare for war in times of peace, much like a boxer does when they're in their training camp between fights. And so Lapa was there a long time ago when Mr. Witcher was the president, and they tried to shut it down. And you all were successful in stopping them with the community support. And now the new leadership of Lapa face the same thing. And they've protected our community's interest in having a real opportunity to, in a sense, do what the First Amendment says, the right to free speech. Free speech is pretty meaningless if you don't have a microphone and a megaphone, something to expand the audience beyond the people that are just next to you, talking to you, one person at a time. And so this television station is our ability to speak and talk to the community. And I hope our guest really recognizes, from all his world travel and travel around the country, I'll bet anybody $100 he's going to tell us that this is somewhat unique to be able to roll into a community and to be presented center stage to an entire community and get your message out. Because I bet $1,000 that it doesn't work like this if you go to most other communities that he's visited. It's not like this, where you can just, boom, I'm on TV and I'm talking to the whole 2/3 of the population of the state of Delaware at one time. So I'm gonna just leave it at that, and I thank all of the past and current people associated with LAPA, and I've been lucky enough to have been associated with both generations of management and leadership, and I love them all, appreciate all that all of you do, because what you protect is one of the most valuable assets that our community has. And community, you have to support this event, buy tickets even if you can't come, because they have to have money to fight the war, to maintain not only their right and our right to speak, but your right to hear. That's all I
Thank you, Mr. God. Listen, we're going to take a very, very short break. I like to close properly, so we're going to take a short break. I want you to get these last moment thoughts for our Mr. Shields, and then whatever you have to say, I'm going to ask you to take up at least, maybe we'll have 7 minutes to do that. We're going to take a very short break. We'll be right back.
Pass the peas like you used to say. Pass the peas like you used to say. Pass the peas like you used to say.
It's the 5th annual LAPA Old School Dinner Dance at the beautiful air-conditioned Belvedere Fire Hall, 1000 Liberty Road in Belvedere, Delaware. Friday, July 12th from 7 p.m. until $30 in advance, more at the door. Sit down to a delicious meal and stand up to dance with the music that we enjoy. With special DJ Rock. Call for tickets at the Congo Funeral Home, 652-8887. Ruth Baker at 655-3477. Josie Roy at 377-7983. Or any LAPA member. Remember, it's the 5th annual LAPA Old School Dinner Dance. At the beautiful Belvedere Fire Hall. 1000 Liberty Road in Belvedere, Delaware, Friday, July 12th, from 7 p.m. until $30 in advance. More at the door.
All right, I just want to say thank you once again for everybody that came out and supported the Gospel Rose and the birthday celebration of Jay Codwell. Also, I want to remind you of the Father's Day Award program that's going to take place on Saturday, June 15th at the Brandywine Trinity Church, located at 2200 North Market Street in the city of Wilmington. The sponsor is my good friend, Brother Pop Cephas, Ed Cephas. Give him a call, 658-8892, or you can call me, 762-3249. Got some free tickets to give away. Oh, by the way, happy birthday, Cheryl.
And I'd like to say to you, I said I wasn't going to take up any time, but we're going to have some moments from the J. Codwell roast next Sunday. Mr. Livingston met with me today, so we'll be sharing with you a lot of what went down that Saturday. Last moment thoughts, Mr. Jackson.
Well, my last moment thoughts are going to be showing appreciation to the LAPA Live Lease Access. We have the hosts on for the LAPA Hour, Mr. Lin Church and Ms. Josie Roy, and it just goes without saying how important it is to get live information out to you, the community that we serve. And along that line, for an example, you wouldn't know about Reggie Johnson, 3-time world champion, coming to Delaware on Wednesday. He'll be at the celebrations on Market. With Mr. Bill Shields, his manager, sitting right here next to me today. He brought a lot of information out and share it with you. So come on out to celebrations on Wednesday. Also, to get a shout out for the celebrations the Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Join them for Old School Funk Happy Hour beginning at 5 o'clock with DJ Tim Dog, who will take you back to the days of Parliament, Earth, Wind and Fire, the Ohio Players, and more with Chef Tony, who's always a guest on our show, presenting the good food. He's going to be grilling on the deck, featuring $1 hot dogs and $2 hamburgers. And he also got this jerk chicken wings. Now, personally, I don't like my chicken wings jerked. I'd rather have them whole, but Chef Tony does a great job with them. So come on out on Friday and join them there.
Listen, and before you go, I want you to, them greens were bad. He brought some greens down, didn't he, Josie? Just enough to tease us. You got to make a whole pot for us.
Don't talk about bad greens. Again, happy birthday, Cheryl.
Thank you.
Miss Richardson's daughter.
Yes, no, but I had to, when you talked about food, he knows how he tries to get rid of it. He said, 'cause he knows he goes places and eats up all the food.
And you know what else, Marva? Bill's going to bring gloves that he needs to be signed along with posters. Okay. Bill, show us what you got.
Yeah, tell us about that red glove.
Yep. When Reggie comes to town, he's going to have opportunities for autographs for people, as well as photographs with the champ. And we also are hoping to have available boxing gloves, so the champ can sign a boxing glove for a fan, whether it's a child or somebody in their 50s who's a fan. You can see my glove here. It has Ken Norton's signature, and I ran Barkley, and then Reggie Johnson on the bottom. So I wanted to bring that so you can see what it'll look like. And again, just go over where we're going to be. We're going to be on Wednesday from 8:30 to 10 at the Sunday Breakfast Mission in Wilmington, from 3 o'clock to 4:30 at the PAL Center at 37th and Market. From 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock on Wednesday, we're going to be at Celebrations on Market, which over the bridge to South Market, it's on the left. And then Thursday, from 6 till 9, we're going to be at the Charcoal Pit Sports Bar on Kirkwood Highway.
Okay, we're running out of time, but do you have a contact information?
Yeah.
How can people contact you?
Well, you can contact me through my website, and it's www.shieldsmanagement.com. You go on there, there's an area where you can contact me, send anything you want. But in my closing remarks, I wanted to thank Ms. Richardson for having me on board. I want to say happy birthday to Cheryl. Oh. And I also wanted to mention what Mr. Sam Guy had to say. I want to agree with it. There's no other venue in the United States or internationally, which I've traveled, where you can come in and have the message put out immediately as you can with LAPA. So this facility needs to be supported, and I hope you'll agree.
Thank you, sir.
Bill, you're also from Delaware, aren't you?
Yep, I'm born and raised in Delaware.
Thank you, sir. You're welcome anytime. Mr. Church, we got a second for each of you.
This is real quick. Okay. We just want to make sure that you come to the 5th annual Old School Dance, which is going to be located at, actually it's going to be a happening where I suggest that you all come out, and it'll be at the Belvedere Fire Hall. That's going to be 1000 Liberty Road, Belvedere, Delaware. That's Friday, July the 12th, 2013 at 7 p.m. until you can drop. And that's $30 we ask for you to be able to give us a donation of $30. If you can't make it on time, I guess you're gonna give us a little more. But still, you'll come, you'll sit down, you'll have a great meal. It's an air-conditioned building. We're gonna have DJ Rock there, and if you need to contact anyone for tickets, I suggest you call the Congo Funeral Hall at 652-8887. That's 652-8887. You can contact our president of LAPA, that's Ms. Ruth Baker, at 655-3477. Or you can also contact the boss. Her number is 377-7983, okay, or any other LAPA member. So please, whatever you can do, make sure you help us with that.
Okay, we got a second. We got to give him a thank you now, Mr. Church. Mr. Guy.
Yes, I'm just going to make a quick announcement. The boss, Josie, asked me to get this information out. There's going to be a summer basketball league. Now, when I was a kid between the ages of 9 and 14, I loved summer basketball leagues. So this will be for young boys and young girls, co-ed league. One location is going to be at the Rose Hill Community Center. And if you want to join this league, you call 395-5890. Again, 395-5890. The league is designed for children to get to play. So each team will have 8 children on it, and the time will be divided up equally. So that's kind of a developmental league. If you're a superstar or if you're an average player or below, you'll get an opportunity to play. It's $10 per person, and I know we'll have at least $50 available for scholarships if that becomes necessary in an emergency situation. I got 5 kids covered if it becomes necessary. I'll get that money to you, Josie.
All right. If Josie, do you have anything to say?
No,
We got him.
the only thing I want to say is with this announcement that Mr. Guy is, I'll be reading it every Sunday. This is something that Newcastle County is now trying to get together a basketball league. We're trying very, very hard. We're going to make it happen. So please, I'll be announcing again next week.
Our hour goes like this. We're going to make available tapes from the J. Codwell roast, and they're going to call tapes of remembrance. So we're going to ask a small donation so that the proceedings can go to the Mr. J. Codwell himself, so he can continue on with world travel and anything to help him. Mr. Woodard, take us out.
Thank you so much. God bless you. Lord willing, we'll see you next Sunday.